So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Lord Through Houses. And today we're covering one of the most significant houses of your horoscope, of your chart, of your DNA, of your life, which is your ninth house. Because ninth house is the house of Bhagya, your luck. Ninth house is the house of Dharma. Dharma, which is the truth. Dharma, which is unchangeable, undeniable, cannot be manipulated. So, in other words, we may not even know what is the true Dharma because there are a million people giving different versions of what is Dharma. See, Dharma is like saying that right now it's daytime and when sun goes down it'll be night. That is the truth. That is the truth in its purest form. But now if somebody says, well, it's not really night, there's no darkness here, you're just at the other end of the planet, but there's always light. So some people will think of it like, yeah, there's always light, it's just on the other end of this. Some people will say your eyes are not meant to see the light when sun goes down, but there's always light. There's a special siddhi you need to see the light. But guess what? All of that is noise. The Dharma's purity is saying, you see the dark, that's dark. You see the light, that's light. You can't change that. You can manipulate it in your own way, but you can't change that. It's like the DNA to make a human being. You can keep saying this and that, but if one strand is off, it's no longer a human. It's something else. So the Dharma says this entire thing creates a human. Right? So it becomes important. And Dharma is a house of completion. It's a house that makes you feel completed. Dharma is also the ninth house. And here I did make a video of number 9 year, right? Which is a year of completion, endings, beginnings. You know, it's a energy of Mars, which can be destructive, protective, fiery. So if you haven't seen that video, I just uploaded that like last week for numerology for 2025. But if you look at the fact, if ninth house is completion, and ninth house is actually the reason behind the Navamsha chart. It's the ninth division of marriage, which means what? Dharma and the ninth house makes you feel complete when you're married. For many people, they feel like I'm not complete until I find my better half, my soulmate, my twin flame, my wife, husband, whatever. So it's a very important house. Now, let's talk about the ninth lord through houses. And most important thing to remember, I made 2025 horoscope for each ascendant on my KRS vlogs on Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, which you can find the link in the below in the comment section or description section. Okay, so all the ascendant are there, and each video is like 20 to 30 minutes long. Now, one thing you want to understand with retrograde planets: if your ninth lord is retrograde, you're still gonna watch what I talk about. Ninth lord in the 4th house, ninth lord in the 7th house, ninth lord in the 12th house, right? But one thing you have to understand with retrograde planets, they will make you do things repeatedly related to that particular house and your ninth house in order to achieve that ninth house related things. That's the simplest understanding of the retrograde planet. As you will do repeated things towards having that luck, having that, blossoming prosperity to come about. Which I always also tell people that if there is the ninth lord that is retrograde, don't quit if one effort fails. You have to repeatedly make that effort and then you achieve those things. That's the only thing that's one of the main things with the retrograde planet. It'll make you keep going back because there will be mistakes that you will make the first time around, sometimes second time around, but then you will get it eventually. But still, you want to understand where that planet is placed. Ninth lord in the 12th and first and fourth. You're not putting it in the previous house. Okay, that is still going to be the place, but there will be repeated themes that are going to be needing there. So when ninth lord is in the ninth house, there is a bit of a protection. There's a feeling of security and protection in pertaining to the ninth house. And the thing is, if the ninth lord is in the ninth house, whether it's moon being in Cancer, Venus being in Libra, or Taurus, Saturn being in Aquarius or Capricorn, okay, it's like the person who lives in the house is in the house. So there's security, protection, okay? There's this vibrant energy there. But that doesn't mean that, okay, if ninth lord is in the ninth house, your bhagya is amazing, your luck is amazing, everything happens, because what if now these planets are hemmed? Then what happens? It's like this is the house, and let's say the owner is in the house, but then outside you've got robbers or military surrounding you and pointing the guns at your home. That's what happens. Now what? Now you're like worried. You have an anxiety, panic attack. You're like, what's their next move? So what happens is, in those cases, the ninth lord is in the ninth house with those hemmed position, can feel an anxiety related to their luck, related to their relationship with the father, teachers, all of these things. And depending on which planet is hemming, which planet is doing what it needs to do, then especially third from this planet, third from the ninth lord, then you have to find the remedy through those planets, navigating through the alignment of those planets. But overall, though, ninth lord provides us this security. It says, I'm going to protect you most of the way out. Okay? You may not feel like you have the most luck. You may not feel like you're the most fortunate person. But still, I will, at the last moment, will save you. Now, what's the other important thing with ninth lord in the ninth house is to look at the significator of the ninth house, which is Jupiter. The position of Jupiter with the ninth lord becomes that double tick. Because if one is off, the other is not off, it's a neutral situation, right? So you want both of them to be in a certain place. And if they're not, that's fine. You align yourself with it. Okay. But what it shows is that whichever planet is ruling the ninth house, okay, your dharma is connected with that planet. And I've already, I think, made enough videos now with planets in the ninth house, regardless of the signs. Now, ninth lord is in the 10th house. So when ninth lord is in the 10th house, your bhagya is connected with your work. What does that mean? Because you might be thinking, well, until I have good luck, how can I have a career? But that's not what I mean. Your bhagya is connected with your work with society. And this is important. I think if you want to know of all the placements, actually ninth lord in the 10th house, I would give 10 out of 10 importance. Why? Because it says your work must be taken as your dharma. Doesn't matter, let's say you graduated with an IT degree, software engineering. You can't find work, so you're now working in some clothing department store. And you're doing meaningless, meager work. And you're doing it with half a heart, quarter of a heart. You're like, I just gotta pay bills. Whatever, I gotta fold these clothes, down, this. Okay, is it time to leave now? When you do not take every single work like it's the command of Shiva, you destroy your bhagya. Meaning, let's say, for example, I did janitorial work in schools. And of course, it's something that I was very immature about. Didn't want to do it. I kind of did it half-fast. I was young, early 20s. But if I had ninth lord in the 10th house, I better make it look like I am doing the work I was destined to do. So when you're folding those clothes in a department store, you should be like, I just graduated with a PhD in folding clothes and here's my work. So when things are taken as absolute duty with your work, you're giving the truth to society, your true self to society. And true self is not the negligence. True self of each person is doing the work the right way, paying the most attention. And you will see, even when you get the most mediocre work, if you do it like your life depends on this work and it's your biggest passion, you will see your ninth house of luck increase. Because in a way, this is partial, you can say, Dharma Karma Yoga. Ninth Lord is in the 10th house. It has nothing to do with Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which naturally is a Dharma Karma Yoga. You don't need to have 10th Lord in the 9th house. Because see, 9th Lord of your Bhagya is second from itself. It is gaining its power through the 10th house, which also means that you must definitely follow your paternal lineages, Ishta Devata, Kul Devi. If there is, you must follow with the deepest of heart like it's your mother or father themselves. The other thing with the 9th Lord in the 10th, part of it was the Kul Devi. So 9th Lord is second from itself, where it's trying to gain is wealth. Okay? Obey the speech of the father. Because 10th house is the spoken word of the father. And you will know that, yeah, what father's saying right, but I'm a teenager and father is wrong, blah, blah, blah. He's always trying to just be the most righteous person. In your case, I'm sorry, you can't deny that. To raise your luck, you follow that dharmic path of what the father is saying. But I'm not saying that what father will say is correct. Your soul will know. We know, like as a teenager, if I messed up and mom and dad are saying this, why are you doing this? You're supposed to be this. Like, they're old, right? But internally it's right, but you're just denying it. The other thing when 9th Lord is in the 10th house, don't ever make a mistake or blunder of changing your last name or the spelling of the last name. You will activate your Pitra Josha intensely. Because you're insulting your Pitris who have carried the name on, and now because you're this modern Gen Z, A, B, C, D, whatever it is, you're like, I want to change my name and I'll make my last name short form to this, this, and this. Or numerologically, it's supposed to do this, and don't ever screw up with the last name. Do whatever you want with the first name. Last name you don't. And now I know someone's going to say, well, your last name is Shrivastava, and now you changed it to Raj. No. Legally, my name was never Shrivastava. I was from birth the outsider. My birth certificate says Kapiel Raaj. The only thing that happened was that I added an E in my Kapil. But it was never Kapiel Raaj Shrivastava in any passport, any school documents, nothing. It was just Kapiel Raaj. While the entire family is Shrivastava. So that's different. Because it wasn't my option or choice. It was as is. So I'm just leaving it as is. Okay. One thing we also see with this 9th Lord my God, this could be a long one. 9th Lord in the 10th house. Whenever you work with your sibling in-laws, you gain success. When you When you work or take advice and respect your in-laws, sibling in-laws, your career will flourish. Ninth Lord is in the 10th house. Feed your father, guru, advisor great meals. When you meet your mentor in your university, right? Whether it's master's degree, bachelor's, doesn't matter. You love and respect this teacher. Take them out for a nice dinner. Feed them. Take your father out time to time. Take him to the best restaurant. Let's go. Do you have a guru that actually like a real guru that you interact with? Bring him the best food. Okay, if you're going to bring him like paneer or dal, have that dal with like a gold plate or something. Just like 5-star vegetarian food for the guru. Helps your 9th house. Now, 9th Lord is in the 11th house. So when 9th Lord is in the 11th house, the one thing you will see this. If you go through the dasha of a planet in the 9th house, which is not your 9th Lord, bhagya happens. Bhagya happens. Bhagya becomes active. Okay? But again, of course, you have to see the conditions, like I told you earlier in the video. But now the Dharma Lord goes into the Kama houses, right? So here it becomes important, what in the world is your desire? Your 9th Lord being in the 11th house, number one thing is third from itself. The fruits of your dharma is in the 11th house. So here for a person, it becomes very important what your desires are. Because based on those desires, will the dharma activate itself? Like for example, I get readings. I just did a reading maybe like 3 days ago. Kind of had to give a lecture to this individual. Because their entire focus is, I have done this, this, and this, but show me how to make $1 billion. I want to become a billionaire. And whenever I see this, I get now upset about it. Not because I'm looking at you as somebody, who doesn't know better. No, I get upset because I'm looking out for you. Because the moment you say to an astrologer, to a psychic, to anybody, a counselor, financial, I want to become a billionaire, you are already guaranteed to not become a billionaire at all. Because any billionaire who has become a billionaire, they didn't set out to be a billionaire. Their focus was to do that work that they became a billionaire through. Jeff Bezos wanted to be a physicist. He's a nerd. And then he's like, well, I love books. Let me create an online bookstore, a proper online bookstore for people. His whole thing is bookstore. He didn't say, I'm going to become the biggest shopping center in the world and one of the richest people in the world. No, it's that thing, and that's it. What took him there? Great. Your desires has to be connected with Dharma. You want to activate your 9th house of luck? Your desire has to be serving society. Your desires, your 9th Lord in the 11th shows the more efforts you make in helping big problems, solving big problems, helping people with big problems, okay, respecting the elder sibling, unless, of course, they're a complete, manic individual. That's a different thing. Then you want to distance themselves. But you want to respect from that dharmic perspective. And the reason why I said solving the biggest problems of the society, of this planet, because 11th house is 6th from the 6th, is the bhavam of the 6th house. So 6th house is service. 6th house is also enemy. 6th from the 6th becomes a biggest enemy, but it's also service. You want to activate your dharma, you want to do the proper things with dharma, serve your enemy. Serve your biggest enemy. You have to, okay, so 9th Lord in the 11th house, you know what it is? It is exactly what Michael Corleone will do in The Godfather. If an enemy is trying to get him, and they did, he'll set up a conference with all the food, drinks, everything, and he'll try to talk his way to peace and actually helping the enemy make money. Why? Through him, he will make money. Right? Because Godfather, if you look, it's not a mafia. It's about how politics of business is played. This is where that ninth lord and the 11th will help you to achieve that dharma. But ninth lord and the 11th will also show one has to make tremendous effort to get a guru in their life. Tremendous efforts when the guru comes, when the teacher comes. You will also see father really would have to put tremendous effort towards dealing with his younger siblings, helping out his younger siblings. Father's strength actually comes from your elder sibling and his own younger siblings. So don't ever feel jealous if your father feels more uplifted when they're around the 11th, elder sibling. You know why? Because it helps you. The better the father has a good relationship with the elder sibling, even compared to you, your luck will rise. Why? Because the ninth lord and the 11th lord have made an agreement, made peace, love. Now, if it's naturally there, perfect, lucky. But if they hate each other, the elder sibling cannot stand the father because they refuse to let them marry the person they wanted to, blah, blah, blah. Well, now you have to make sure there's peace. Because that fight, that animosity disturbs your bhagya. Okay. The other thing, whenever you listen to the word of the guru, whether it's in an audio form, video form, your luck rises. Okay. Because 11th house is the Updesh of the Guru. The message the Guru is giving. And if you listen to that message, it activates your ability to fulfill your desires. But please note, your first desire should be towards serving and helping the Guru and God. That's it. When you do that, whatever the other dharma or your desires are, the Guru will automatically, the energy of the ninth house will automatically help you achieve those things. Because remember, 11th house is the Bhadakesh, is the original Bhadakesh. It's always going to be Bhadakesh, no matter what ascendant you are. There's three concepts. There's Bhadakesh, then there's Mahabhadakesh, and then there's Thira Bhadakesh. 11th house is Thira. So when you have too many desires, they become obstacles for you. And they become obstacles for your dharma. So this is why you have a desire for that Lamborghini and that $1 billion, burn it. If you want to get it, burn it. Only then you achieve it. Your first dharma should be your ninth house. How can I help my lineage? How can I serve my paternal lineage, father, and a guru? That's it. And that will raise your luck. Now, ninth lord is in the 12th house. Ninth lord goes into the 12th house. Obviously, you will know that the absolute desired relationship you wanted with the father, couldn't get it. Desired relationship with the guru you wanted, couldn't get it. And I'm going to explain when you do. The desired for that higher education you wanted exactly didn't pan out exactly the way you wanted. For example, you wanted to go to UPenn, Wharton School of Finance, but you got accepted to Purdue University. All right. Okay. The thing is with the ninth lord in the 12th house, do not ever desire for anything related to the ninth house. Don't. Like, for example, when I first came across Yogananda and the whole Kriya yoga family and all of that, and I'm like, oh my God, I want someone like Yogananda and Sri Yukteswar, and I wanted. Okay. And didn't get it. But the moment I stopped, when I'm like, I'm just done frustrated. It's not happening. It happened. This is exactly what I explained with Saturn going in Pisces for each ascendant on my Cares vlogs. It's very important. You got to go listen to that. When ninth lord is in the 12th house, whatever you desire, the Devta of the 12th house says, oh, you're desiring for that perfect guru to come in your life. Here, let me help you dissolve that desire. You want to go to that best Ivy League school? Let me help that. Let me help you dissolve that. Because 12th house is the dissolving of everything. Your dharma, artha, kama, including even moksha. I don't care what sign is in the 12th house. It's the house that dissolves, liquefies, melts whatever that is solid, and whatever that is earthy, it melts it into ether. Ninth lord in the 12th house, the best thing to do your work and don't think of what will happen with this work. I think it's the ninth lord in the 12th house position is where that quote of Bhagavad Gita is made for. Like, don't do your karma, but don't look for the fruits of that karma. Leave that to me. Leave that for me to give you. Same thing. Naturally, ninth lord is in the 4th house. We would see that a lot of an individual's dharma and their knowledge, their lineage will strongly be connected with paternal grandmother. Perhaps your grandmother was the one that you interacted and instilled a lot of your, knowledge base from her. If, of course, the ninth lord in the 12th house is in a great position. Or especially if ninth lord in the 12th house was with Shani. Because Shani prolongs then the life of that grandmother. So she would be there long enough for you to interact with her. So, because of course, what is Shani? Saturn is the Ayush Karaka, right? It is to give you that long life. And then ninth, the Lord is in the 12th house. Obviously shows Bhagya. The moment you become independent and you go far away from home, where you learn to be in a complete void and navigate yourself as part of your lessons, where you're in a small village in your town in, let's say, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, and boom, here you are in Silicon Valley working. Or let's say you are in Dubai, in this like mega Las Vegas metropolis. And now you got to learn about how do I navigate this in this new alien country. Well, once you navigate there and you settle yourself there, that's when Bhagya is like, now I can activate myself for you. Number 2, you better make a habit of donating money. You know those people who gain success and luck the more they donate. This is that position. This is that position. Whenever a ninth lord is either in the 12th house or ninth lord is connected with the 12th lord, or ninth Lord is in the nakshatra of the 12th Lord. These are the people who, this is why they advocate. Oh, the more you give, the more you receive. And that is the thing. Because 9th house is your investments. Or, I'm sorry, 12th house is your investments. What is the point of investment? You put $8,000 today, and in 10 years' time, you're hoping it'll become $40,000, right? So you get things in return with an interest. Because this is also the place where Shukra, Venus, is exalted in the house of Lakshmi. So the more you do things, the more you help people that are far away from the privileges of society, the better your bhagya becomes. And you cannot be a miser with 9th Lord in the 12th house. Bhagya will go down. When you become a miser and a stingy person, that even knowing you can easily afford a nice warm jacket for your kids or your spouse, yet you are like, no, winter's only going to last for 3 months, and if I get this one that is like $100 less, they'll be fine. Or no, why they don't even need this? Let me go to a thrift store and get a used jacket of someone with someone's bad karma and energy in it, and they'll wear it. They'll be fine. Because I can take this remaining of the money, save it, or invest it. When you have that thinking, bhagya goes down. You gotta be open-heartedly spending the money in the right way. Now, this does not mean that you're parting yourself to oblivion. That's not what I said. I said, when you have to spend money, you spend money. You take your children out, your spouse out for dinner, and you're like, no, don't order from this. Let's not get that. That's too expensive. No, you took them out. What they want, you get. Spouse wants to get that nice dish. If it's in the menu, hey, you took them. You get that. Because tomorrow you can just drop dead. What did all that being a miser do for you? Nothing. It's a waste of time. Waste of your entire life's energy being a miser. And the more you spend time alone, and this is especially, I love it when I see like somebody with moon surrounded by all the planets, and especially moon is in Purva Falguni. I'm like, go be alone. Or moon is in Rohini, go be alone. Because that'll be like, what else can I do? What other things can I do as a remedy? No, that is, you need to spend as much time by yourself in solitude, and your bhagya will start helping you. But yeah, the position that I just gave becomes the most challenging. Unless moon is surrounded with Shani. That'll be different then. If you have moon, Saturn, Mercury, and Purva Falguni, then yeah, then it'll be an easy thing for you. Now let's look at 9th Lord in the ascendant. So if 9th Lord is in the ascendant, first of all, your birth is the bhagya. Your birth is your bhagya. Okay. This is like birth of a fortunate one. Because the extension of luck is now on you. There's blessings from past lineage. There's blessings from past gurus upon you. Doesn't matter if you're born in US, Romania, India, UK, Russia. Doesn't matter. At one point you would have gotten blessings of somebody. But also, what does this show? Who's the first house? First house is you. So who's responsible of increasing their luck? You. So if sometimes a person who's born, literally the family is lucky for them. Children are lucky for them. Marriage is lucky for them. Here, you're responsible for that luck. Either you can screw it up, or you can manifest more out of it. Now, what is that the dharmas are asking you to do? Carry on the lineage. What does that mean? That means When you have your children, your bhagyodaya happens. First thing. Number one, you must become the beacon of your ancestral knowledge. You must become the beacon of your ancestral culture and lineage, and don't let it get diminished. The other thing, because ninth lord is in the first house, don't ever, just like ninth lord in the 10th house, you should watch that. I said the same thing there. Don't ever, please try to change your last name. Especially as a male, don't change your last name. Number one. Number two, like wanting to change the spelling of the last name because of like numerology and this and that. You will activate your Pitra Josha. If you do that, you can screw up whatever you want with your first name. And in ninth lord in the 10th house, I explain about my own name. That I never actually changed anything with my last name. Because I never had my family last name from birth. Okay. My Raj name has always been there. Never was Kapiel Raaj Shrivastava. Which is of course the reason behind KRS channel. Like everybody in my family, my sisters before marriage, Shrivastava. Mom Shrivastava. Dad Shrivastava. But me, Raj. It's like I was born to have that cut from the lineage naturally. So it's not like I changed it to Raj. Oh, no. No, it's just I never had it legally. Okay. The other thing, with ninth lord, in the ascendant, obviously this person will strongly gain most of their knowledge when they experience different culture. And when they teach other people about the benefits of learning other cultures, other religion. This person cannot be dogmatic that mine is the best religion and the other ones are not. Luck goes down. It'll go down the drain. No need to insult any religion. You don't agree with it, don't bash it, just move on, just focus on your own. There's going to be many other people, many other timelines that will come and rectify what needs to be rectified. Maybe it doesn't need to be rectified. Your own perception is wrong. But one of the biggest things that ninth lord in the ascendant shows, you must pass down your knowledge or certain knowledge, a dharmic knowledge to other people. I don't care if you're an IT, I don't care if you're a lawyer, I don't care if you're planning to run for prime minister or president. Your message should always be about focusing on the lineage and don't letting the culture die because of some new fad, some new fashion. You got to stand up for your lineage. Okay? Because that's what's going to increase the luck. And one thing we see with ninth lord in the ascendant, your birth actually improves your father's luck. Unless the ascendant lord is in a position of being hemmed, then it's going to be a different thing. But most of the time, if it's in a normal position, your birth increases the luck of your father. In that same case, we will go ninth lord in the second house. So when second lord or ninth lord goes into the second house, first of all, it shows that yes, after your birth, father would have had to deal with certain struggles in life. Things just didn't become easy. Okay. Also shows after your birth, the family would have moved far away. Or it activated through your chart for the family to at one point definitely move far away. Either to a different state, different country to find their better luck. It also shows it becomes part of a person's pending karma to first struggle in life, First half of life, one struggles, and including struggles to find a mentor, teacher, guidance, father, guru. And then ultimately a person gets it. So when you look for that teacher, when you look for understanding the higher dharma of yourself, you have to go through struggles of making mistakes, struggles of being lost, struggles of being a vagabond before you come to that place where you're able to now realize that, oh, wait a second. Yeah, me struggling to find this is because it was actually a one big part of my life. And because of your own previous karmic debt or log, things didn't come. Luck didn't come easy for you. But the other thing, your speech is very important for your luck. Your speech, your talk needs to inspire others. It needs to inflate others. Inflate others' hope, not deflate others' hope. When you begin to do that, it helps you raise your luck. The other thing we also see when ninth lord is in the second, actually finding a guru. Let's say most of the time, let's say if you're 2025, you may not be interested in all of these things. Guru, dharma, meditation, because ninth lord is sixth from itself. But guess what? You must find a guidance of a guru, sat guru, in order for you to make money. Forget anything else. Making money, storing money. And of course, depending upon the planet that is controlling, the ninth house in your case, will determine the type of guru you will attract to make that money. And especially in your case, because your money is your second house, you're going to have to leave. Even if the family does not leave, you will have to leave the family. An opportunity will come for you to go far away to make money, and you will have to go in order to do it. And sometimes it can cut off the link for you to ever come back. Even if, let's say, somebody's born in New Delhi, moves to Lucknow, moves to Bangalore, and they're like, okay, well, I'm well educated, I have experience, I am in a very high title. Why don't I look for a similar or better position in my own home state of New Delhi so I can be around all my family, cousins, friends? Yet you won't be able to. You're going to have to be far in order for that luck to be active. And we also see with ninth lord in the sixth, your birth itself would pay off debts between you and your father. It's one of those positions that says the debt towards the father is finished and cleaned. And that can be through the process of what you experience and what he experiences. We also see with ninth lord in the second, usually one naturally cuts off from the lineage, paternal lineage. Especially one moves far away from paternal lineage. They might be closer to maternal lineage, but they will move far away. But again, because ninth house is the paternal lineage, second house is your speech, what you value, what your values are. Your values can never, ever decrease for the paternal lineage. Your speech should always reflect the respect for that lineage, because it's in your speech. And the more you even talk to others about focusing on your their paternal lineage, focusing on their, higher divinity, the better your luck becomes. But one thing that happens with ninth lord in the second, higher education can get stopped. Higher education becomes a form of a struggle to finish. It can be like your biggest challenge in life. Like it was easy for me to get a bachelor's degree, but when I went for my MBA, now that was a tough part. It took me 6 years, but I was able to complete it, but it was the hardest thing. And the other thing, ninth lord in the second also shows you will help out your brother and sister-in-laws. Sometimes financially at one point. You'll always take care of them. Even if, let's say, they want to come see you, you'll pay for their flight. You'll go meet them, you'll pay for all their dinner. You find out they're struggling, you'll send them money. Because you know what happens? You feel like it's your responsibility to deal with anything related to the ninth house. No matter how your relationship is with the father, but if father is at that age, even in the old age, you will feel and fulfill that duty and responsibility of taking care of the father. It becomes that daily routine and pending karma for you. But for you, not for you, for your luck. Your luck automatically makes you do that. Unless there is so much malefic effect that you just don't do it or you don't get the chance to do it. But no matter what, you will do that. Now, ninth lord is in the third house. So then, ninth lord is in the third house. Well, what does this show? Well, first of all, it shows, depending upon if it's a malefic or benefic. If it's a benefic planet, literally you will see things just, your fruits of your karma just come about very easy and the luck becomes very easy. If the benefic planet is conjunct a malefic, becomes neutral. There will be hard work involved, but not that much. But if it's a malefic, then it's looking at its own house, but it shows sheer hard work, will is going to be required. For example, I rather see, a malefic in a person's chart because it's kind of like, for example, becoming Michael Jordan. See, if you party, you take time off, you're just waking up half an hour before the basketball practice, and you're just going there because, hey, got selected, I'm making money, I'm here on time. Great, I'm a great worker. But then someone like Michael Jordan is like, the practice is at 7 a.m. I'm going to be there by 4. Because I'm going to lift weights beforehand, I'm going to shoot beforehand, I'm going to stretch beforehand. Okay? Because I need to beat all these people. And I need to beat everybody out there. So that competitiveness comes in and that raises your luck. So ninth lord in the third, first of all, also shows traveling somehow always makes you feel like you feel inspired. Ninth house is also, dharma is inspiration. So your inspiration comes through traveling. Inspiration comes through writing. Now here's the thing. And I think I feel like this deja vu. I've said this before with ninth lord in the third house. Write your goals. Write your goals of what you want to achieve, especially with like an ink pen. And that too with a very nice pen, not some cheap pen. When you write your goals, they begin to help you in your luck to get what you need. It shows father would have been very good at communication. Father probably made his money through communication, through business. Father would have, raised his own luck and life by interacting with people on one-on-one basis. The other thing we also see, usually such people don't have to travel so much to find their teacher, gurus, or mentor, but they do travel a certain distance, short distance. Even if, let's say, a person moves to foreign land, they will travel a short distance. But unless, of course, if the 12th Lord is now with the 9th Lord, or if, let's say, a 9th Lord, which is not Jupiter, is with Jupiter, now you have to travel a long distance. So that's the only thing that makes a difference there. 9th Lord is in the 3rd house. Your younger sibling gets the most attention of your father. It also shows your paternal lineage would be that of merchants. Merchants or people who may have dealt with a lot of ups and downs and death and life of other people. They could have even like death merchants, meaning people back in the days or whoever, they helped to bury the bodies, burn the bodies. 9th Lord goes into the 3rd house. Usually, such people, if this person, because nowadays we can talk about things like social media. When this person begins to talk about subjects related to lineage, subjects related to DNA, subjects related to higher knowledge, higher education, higher dharmic knowledge, religious knowledge, they actually find much luck in accumulating crowds and views. Because it's directly connecting with the people out there. 9th Lord in the 3rd house. Don't ever fight with your neighbor. Avoid as much fight as possible. And if it's in your nature to just wanted to create fights, you look for altercations, then, there's nothing to help you. Your luck will keep getting destroyed. You do not want to have animosity with the neighbor. And especially 9th Lord in the 3rd, right? And this can be very true for anybody, anywhere in the world. For example, if you go to a temple with your neighbor, you help your neighbor go to a temple because let's say maybe they don't have a car. They want to go, and it's not like, I know it's kind of becomes awkward, especially in US, asking your neighbor, hey, you want to go to a temple with me? No, but when you know they don't have a car, vehicle, and you see them outside, hey, I'm going to the temple, you want to go? They say, yeah. Okay, come on, let's go. But always offer that. Or tell them about, especially you want to raise your luck. If in your city some guru or somebody's coming, tell a neighbor about it. Hey, did you hear this guru's coming? I don't know if you're going to go see them, but they're coming. Inform them about the 9th house. And it's not something negative. It needs to be positive. Inform them something positive about the 9th house. And it helps you raise your bhagya. But remember, 9th Lord is in the 3rd house. 3rd house is effort. One must put some effort towards their luck. 9th Lord in the 10th house, 9th Lord in the ascendant, 9th Lord in the 2nd, and 9th Lord in the 3rd requires effort. Actually, 9th Lord in the 10th, 9th Lord in the ascendant, 9th Lord in the 3rd. Because 9th Lord in the 2nd, first half is definitely struggle no matter how much hard work. But then it does become easier as part of your pending karma to deal with the 9th house things. And we also see that your younger siblings, younger sibling in general, will be highly educated, highly logical, highly strategic, very good at strategies. And they can also become very dharmic if they have the combinations. If your 3rd house has a combination, but naturally 9th house is strategies. So younger sibling will be they'll have the energy and infusing of skills of strategies. But the thing is, your strategy comes in when you have to communicate. Communication, sales, market, that's where your strategy comes into play. 9th Lord is in the 4th house. So the luck, the fortune, the bhagya of an individual lies in the 4th house, which means Any disturbance in the relationship of you and mother disturbs your luck. If there's disputes and fights within the home, conflicts within the home, disturbs your luck. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, if a retrograde planet is there, a person has to repeatedly work on those particular areas of life where the retrograde planet is sitting and the houses that is controlling. Like ninth lord in the fourth house, if it's retrograde, a person will not easily accept any teacher or guru as their teacher or guru. A person will not naturally accept whatever is being taught by their mother within the home as the holy grail of philosophy and lessons. So that's the retrograde part. But the other thing that we see with ninth lord in the fourth house, okay, it's when person learns from the heart is when the true wisdom comes in. Such a person with ninth lord in the fourth house, if they simply go for education because they're looking for filling up their resume with accolades of degrees, accolades of achievements, it's not going to go anywhere. They won't feel lucky until they do what the heart says, I need to do this. Why? Because fourth house is the area of the heart. And especially there will be many secrets related to the father within the home that only a few people will ever find out. Either lineage or father or guru, certain secrets would be there. On the other hand, with ninth lord in the fourth house, a person cannot stay in their own home. They either have to leave early or they have to leave far away from home. Home as in not their home that they grew up in. It actually can even represent homeland, home state. One may have to cross the border. And there's naturally a lot of emotional, setbacks, trauma, emotional unfulfillment that a person feels in life, especially related to their paternal lineage or father. And again, this will be at a different degrees for everyone. Some may feel it 20%, some may feel it 90%, some may feel it 50%, but it's going to be there. Okay, but what happens is ninth lord in the fourth house person does not really like to follow strict or does not want to give strict allegiance to any religion, even if it's their own lineage. This person actually wants to elevate themselves above religion. They feel they need to rediscover what divinity is, what dharma is. And such a person will be much more actually broad-minded, open-minded. It's like saying, then you have somebody like Kabir. You can tell them about all kinds of religion, all kinds of background. For Kabir, God is one. For Kabir, everything is love. For Kabir, everything is acceptable and everything is, great. That's what happens with ninth lord in the fourth house. Such a person will find it hard to just want to follow. They always want to dissolve something of it and create something new. Which is because it's ninth lord in the fourth. But no matter what happens, especially in the mother's life, mother always tends to be a little bit fortunate. And it's not like mother may be extremely wealthy. Those are different scenarios and placements, in the chart we see. But somehow there's always a factor of luck that is always just there, like to sustain the home, the mother. And with ninth lord in the fourth house, you will see the moment you purchase your first property, that's when your bhagya becomes active. The fortune helps, the luck helps. One actually becomes open up. One opens up to religion. One opens up to divinity. This also happens when you buy a new car. There will be some activity related to father, religion, lineage that becomes active. So this is the understanding of ninth lord in the fourth house. So ninth lord in the fifth house. You will see in your lifetime, whenever you teach kids, when birth of children happens in your own life, when you have, students, subordinates underneath you, your rise of luck happens. Okay. When you move the lineage forward in your life, your rise of luck happens. Now, yes, I do know that there are people who may not want to have kids, and that doesn't mean that their luck is shunned out. No. There are people who may not be able to have kids. Does that mean your luck is shunned out? No. Listen to what I said early on. Work with kids. And how do you work with kids? Teach them about Dharma. Dharma, again, is not religious knowledge, but it's literally represents the truth of the roots of people, roots of who you are as a person. When you, especially like the lineage that you come from, and you help that pass forward. Let's say, for example, in US, there are people living in Appalachia. They have their own culture. They have their own lineage, own belief system compared to the rest of the United States. And some people will look them, as either hillbillies, or will look them, as these weird people up in the, South. But they're enriched with their culture. So it doesn't matter somebody's born in Appalachia, somebody's born in New Delhi, somebody's born in Romania. It don't matter. You gotta push forward what your culture has been. The other thing with ninth lord in the fifth house, usually such a person will be taught, because your intelligence is actually connected with your lineage. You will always hear in your family that when they refer to you, when they talk about you, oh my God, this person's behavior, their intelligence is exactly like my dad or my grandfather. Like your parents will say that. They're like, you behave exactly like them. So usually what happens is, because fifth house is intelligence, that intelligence of the lineage, of the paternal lineage, has passed in yourself. This happens with many combinations. Ninth lord in the fifth house. Ninth lord conjunct the fifth house, or fifth lord. Ninth lord is in the nakshatra of the fifth lord. So your intelligence to understand things works on the lineage. For example, like, I love astrology. And it's not just my uncle that I found out, it's my grandfather that loved astrology, which is why my uncle also understood astrology. This is how, so that intelligence works in that particular matter. In certain cases, this is also known as Lakshmi Yoga. For example, if ninth lord is in the fifth house, especially, in its exalted position, like for Gemini ascendant, that's a Lakshmi Yoga. It represents great wealth coming through knowledge, great wealth coming through a person's creative ability. It also shows one of your paternal ancestors were also a performing artist. They love performing and entertaining people. They may not be doing it professionally, maybe especially in their days. It wasn't as easy at all. Especially if, let's say, you go back 3-4 generations back, where there may not have even been a television but they entertained people. They were able to be creatively, you know, make people laugh. And this is one of those positions of ninth lord in the fifth house that naturally, the more a person learns, the better your luck becomes. You should always keep learning something new. The more you know, the better your intelligence works. And especially ninth lord in the fifth house is that position where your child, one of your children, will be one of your ancestors reborn as your child. Okay. And especially fifth house is ninth from the ninth. It is the bhavat, the bhavam of the ninth house. So usually such people always love history, always love travel, always love to, like, especially, you know, people who like to dig into their past, like whether it's paleontologists, archaeologists, historians, they always tend to have these placements. Now, in order for them to become that, of course, you know, other combinations have to be involved, but there are people who might be accountants, but they just love to understand that particular part of life itself. So it's a very blessed position in a way. Unless, of course, like I always say in every single one of these, if a planet is hemmed, you know, planet is in a certain degree, certain dignity, then yeah, those things then have to be dealt with and looked upon and to see how it can be improved. You know, if it's retrograde as well, a person will have to do repeatedly things connected with the fifth house to improve their luck. You know, a person, especially like a retrograde planet, you know, will show certain setbacks before a person rises in life. Okay. So now we're looking at ninth lord in the sixth house. So then you have ninth lord in the sixth. So obviously when ninth lord in the sixth, it shows one has to fight for their luck, for their bhagya. And here's the thing. The more a person deals with enemies, animosity, you know, struggles, the more a person wins. You don't realize this is actually this can be probably one of the most, a really great placement. Ninth lord in the sixth. It can be one of those placements that if, let's say, a person is an army, marine, police officer, even an athlete, they can go to the greatest height. Like if, let's say, you started out in army, one day you might be a colonel. Because what are you doing? Your job, your life itself, it professionally exists on the existence of enemy. And one thing we also see is that father would have a very strong career. Father would himself would be an extremely competitive individual. Somebody who would take no for an answer. And the other thing, it's part of your pending karma. It's part of your pending karma to deal with the karma of the father. Usually ninth lord in the sixth shows that either a person, it's going to be one of the other. Either a person has to deal with the debts of the father, actual real debts like financial debts, or at one point father kind of becomes your competition or your enemy. And you have to work through those things. You know, like best example would be if you ever watched that show, Orange County Choppers. Okay, where the father, or I forgot his name, Turtle, right? Yeah, used to fight every day with his son, his older son. And at one point, he also left Orange County Chopper, started his own thing, and now they're competing against each other. Yet they still love each other, but they're competing against each other. So those things would be taking place with this position. And on the other hand, you will also see sometimes, especially in like close relations, like Indians, Italians, Middle Easterns, Asians. In our particular culture, usually father can even work with the in-laws, or not in-laws, sorry, they're your, well, yeah, in-laws, like your maternal aunts and uncles. He may have some profession happening through them. There would be some borrowing or taking of the debt or giving money to them. But now, let's say if you are in a regular career, regular, place, you may not feel like you're thriving. Because if you have a very safe job, secure job, where you don't deal with competition, you feel like my luck is just not helping me. The only time luck will help you is when you go into the most competitive space to focus on your career. Because you want luck, right? You don't just want luck in terms of finding the right house, luck finding great friends, luck having great children. Because all of that is in this particular day and age of Kali Yuga will be supported through money, through career, through wealth. So if you want to generate that, you gotta go into the most competitive space. That's where, like for example, if instead of looking for a salary job as a computer programmer, you should go into a startup or company that says the one who does this type of a coding the fastest gets the best money or more money in our work. Kind of like imagine a commission based coding job. I'm pretty sure there might be that concept that you only get paid on what is done or delivered, whatever the scenario might be. I don't know. That in that places you will thrive with this position. So it's all about aligning. If you align yourself, then you feel like luck is going to help you. I mean, you could be a multimillionaire with 9th Lord in that 6th house. But if you go to a safe space, safe place, then don't complain that my luck is not helping me. Okay. Same way, now let's talk about 9th Lord in the 7th house. So 9th Lord is in the 7th house, and this shows that father would either naturally will gain in his life. Father will also be inclined towards business. Father will also be involved in your marriage, either finding the person for you, helping you in your marriage, financially helping you in your marriage. And 9th Lord in the 7th can also show there will be a restraint in a relationship with father and his elder sibling. The other thing, 9th Lord in the 7th, right? So we are wanting to shine that luck. We are wanting to shine, your bhagya. And because it's about the dharma, first of all, your biggest part of your dharma is going to be devotion to marriage, devotion to business. And on the other hand, because 7th house is where Shani is exalted, right? So we see that especially when a person, the older the person gets, especially in 30s, that is when they begin to find their wheels in motion. And ninth lord is in the seventh. How do you think the luck will activate? Luck activates naturally when a person is devoted in the marriage, gets married obviously, is devoted in the marriage, or unless a person does business with their father. Because again, ninth house is luck, but ninth house is father, seventh house is business. And especially because seventh house also represents higher distinction. You going to a much higher distinction, father will be involved in you going to a higher distinction, or father-like figure, mentor, teacher, guru. On the other hand, this also shows me whomever you partner with. When ninth lord is in the seventh house, whomever you partner with, they prosper. So in a way, partnership becomes very good and prosperous for this individual. The other thing, because of your birth, it shows there would be some form of higher achievements in the father side of the family overall for people. Now, again, just like every other placement I've said, that if this position is hemmed, then it becomes difficult to, get exactly what I'm showing that the ninth lord and the seventh will get. In that case, if there are hemming, then you just have to align with that hemming, and then again it neutralizes and gives you what you want. But that's the thing. The astrologer or the person studying this should know how to align with those hemming. It is actually simple. Okay. But you just have to know the significance and the avastha of those planets. Like, for example, even if you knew the Nagas connected with the planets, just dealing with their qualities will help you. Like Sun is Sheshnag. And then Rahu is Kulika, not Gulika, Kulika Nag. So there's all these different things. But mainly, if you have the position with ninth lord in the seventh house, one will always find luck in partnership, luck in marriage, and luck with the father. Unless then you're not lucky enough to have such things in your life. Okay. So then we're going to look at ninth lord in the eighth house. Ninth lord is in the eighth house. This person's bhagya will benefit this person when they actually get help through tantra, occult, mysticism. And that is going to happen. Even an atheist at one point will somehow come across this, and they will not tell anybody. And they'll keep saying, I'm an atheist and I believe in science. I trust in science. I hate this pseudoscience. But they will still be taking the help of this. Bhagya's ability to rise. First of all, it happens suddenly. You know those people suddenly just become famous. Suddenly just get that role that just puts them on the map in the movies and music. Bhagya has to suddenly burst. That's the first thing. Second is that somehow if Bhagya is supposed to help you with ninth lord in the eighth, you are going to do certain remedies in occult, in tantra, okay, and some form of a hidden force through which your Bhagya will spurt. The other thing, ninth lord is in the eighth, right? Here's the easy thing. Massage your father's feet. Not just touch. Massage your father's feet. And especially you can even use like mustard oil as they do in India, or any oil that is connected with your ninth lord, because there is also different, I don't know which one they are, but there are different oils connected with each planet. Okay, whether it's vegetable oil, sesame oil, olive oil, mustard oil, you can take that or just take any oil, doesn't matter. Main thing is you're massaging the father's feet. And specifically, if you were to do it on the day when the planetary day is, like, let's say today is Monday, your moon rules the ninth house, sits in the 8th house in Gemini, right? So on Monday, father's feet, if they're massaged, your bhagya starts to become active. But don't see, again, the wrong perception is, well, here, look, I massaged my father's feet. You were wrong. Nothing happened. You think the universe is that stupid? That just by doing this one thing and now you're suddenly opening up everything? No. The universe wants to see one thing. Consistent devotion. Universe works on devotion. You know, it's like somebody gives you a secret meditation or secret kriya. You think you doing that kriya one day suddenly is going to do everything? No. Because kriya or anything that is given is kind of like rubbing off the two stones or woods. You rub, and slowly it's getting hot, warm, then even warmer. And then suddenly smoke comes and that's when the fire happens. Universe, when it comes to a remedy, wants to see devotion. The other thing, ninth lord is in the 8th house. Usually you will find a person who will be there at the last moment of touching the father's or guru's feet when they're passing away. And even then the father, guru's feet will become very important. Now the thing is, if ninth lord is retrograde, you may not be at the end point of your father or the guru, or both. And especially it shows that the lineage of the father was most definitely devoted to some secret god or goddess. There was a lot of like hidden secrecies related, and usually you will find ninth lord in the 8th house. Certain families are very like powerful. And if they're powerful, that means they have some form of hidden secret. It's not so easy to just get ninth lord in the 8th. It is just one of those mysterious positions that literally works on some form of a power. Some form of hidden power is working with ninth lord in the 8th. We also see with this that father would have had to leave home very early in his own life. Okay. And especially whenever you do some form of a research in your life, especially let's say you're trying to attain your PhD, you're doing some dissertation, you're doing any form of research. Whenever any subject requires research to be done, and you actually do the research, not go on ChatGPT. So don't think that ChatGPT is research. No, that's cheating. That actually can ruin your ninth house. If it's something that you're supposed to do on your own and not having an AI do it, it's like your teacher tells you to write a paper on this subject and study this subject. Use ChatGPT. That's cheating. Even though it's not like I'm saying it's bad or good. It's great. I might refine my script on it, or look for writing something for my article. Okay, yeah, because I'm doing it because I don't care for the research part. I'm just writing something. But if I'm supposed to research, and then I'm just using ChatGPT to create the paper of research, that can actually damage your ninth house. Because you're not actually putting the work towards the research. But if you put the work towards the research, but the chat GPT as your assistant, then you will see your ability to raise your luck. Like you will always find your luck in getting A's in your research. Like the teacher said, go do research. And let's say everybody used chat GPT 4 or 5 or 6. And yet you not only used that, but you actually did the work of research with the help of that. You will always find that success. See, it's all about activation. Activation of bhagya. For example, whenever and I've actually seen this when somebody says, how can I get a promotion? I haven't gotten a promotion. How do I raise my luck? I feel unlucky. You know what I told them? I told them, go learn astrology. Take some course in astrology. You don't have to do it with me. Just go take it somewhere. Learn something. Learn Jyotish. Not because you need to make money from it. Just do it. I say see what happens in 3 months. I don't know if I don't usually save these emails, but they get a new job offer within, I think, like 2 months. Why? Because they just aligned themselves with their luck. With their luck part. Like, for example, if you keep your father's shoes, like in your office, like especially like something special, or a guru's shoes, your luck will always be there with you. Now, you can do that if your ninth lord is in the 6th, 5th, 4th. Now, I'm only simply saying ninth lord in the 8th. Now, think about it, why I said. Now, if you don't know, simple. 8th house is 12th from the 9th house. What is the 12th house? Feet. And what do we wear on the feet? Shoes. And what is shoes? Saturn. And Saturn is what? Your career. So when you respect shoes of your father or guru in your workspace, what do you think is going to happen? Your luck related to your work becomes active. I just gave you guys the best remedy out there. Okay. So this was our 9th lord through houses. And remember, my 2025 horoscope is on Kair's Vlogs on Magavit Astrology Academy. And I'll put something new as well there as well. Bye-bye.